Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, August 25th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The previous day we finished a very narrow 2-day range. At these lows, you can see it quantified right here. The previous session very narrow over a 2-day basis here, and one of the things that we mentioned late yesterday in the trading room here is that we're still in a very short-term down move, and if there's any failure to push through 2-day highs, that could become a rejection opportunity that leads to an eventual continuation to the downside of some magnitude here. So today in the most bearish scenario here, we could see a rejection of 2-day highs that could lead to an outside day down toward 4,100, perhaps even lower in the most bearish case scenario. Again, we still have quite a bit of economic data that come out Friday morning prior to the RTH Open, in addition to Fed Chair Powell speaking tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central, so that could provide additional volatility here this week. But we are currently in a current down move. We've seen a rejection developing here at the previous session's highs, or at least still developing, and that could lead to a bit more weakness here today. If price can continue to hold above 4160, that again could have a little bit of a short-term implication to the upside. But right now we could be headed back down toward the July FOMC key level, which is as low as 39.77. So once we've taken this thing bid here, after the modest hold and failure up here, we could be looking at a return back to that lower level up ahead. If we take a look at the NQ, right now the NQ is currently up about 0.5% at the moment. This one had an inside day development yesterday, so a very narrow 2-day range here as well. You can see the previous session inside the prior day's highs. Today you can see price pushed through 2-day highs and is now currently back below the previous session's high at the moment. So again, an initial attempt to push through those highs, but right now seeing signs of modest rejection here. So again, that could at the very least push prices back to the bottom of the 2-day range here, and perhaps even through that range for a continuation down. So keep an eye on the previous session's high, 13.011. That's going to be a key level early today. Taking a look at crude oil, this one right now trading about break even, and had a pretty surprising push yesterday to the upside. I mentioned yesterday that 95s were going to be very important, and if we see some sort of rejection there, that could bring us back down within the range, very similar to what we've seen back here. And it just didn't do it. It tried, it rejected multiple times in the 60-minute time frame, but by the end of the day, price had regained after every rejection and pushed higher to finish through the 95s, and that's the first time we've seen that kind of bullish behavior in a while. Additionally, if you look at this blue line right here, that's the previous quarter's low price, and price dropped into it yesterday, held it, and then bounced out of that zone to hold higher. That's fairly bullish here, at least from a short-term perspective. And if price can continue to hold that blue line, it opens up the potential to come back toward the 102s up ahead, something we talked about in the pre-market video yesterday. So continue to watch that blue line here. As long as price stays above it, we could be marching quietly higher back toward 100 to 102. A failure to hold that zone could bring us right back down within the current trading range that's been developing. If we take a look here at Bitcoin, right now Bitcoin is mildly lower, still a narrow 3-day range, which is now becoming a narrow 4-day range. So if I increase this a couple of days here, you'll see down here, narrow 4-day range, 1,100 points of range. The average would be about 2450, and the expansion, the energy here that this range has, is about 3,000 points. So if we remain within this narrow range heading into tomorrow's market with Fed Chair Powell early in the morning, we could be looking at a breakout move of about 3,000 points one way or another. 3,000 points to the upside takes us back to 25K for a retest. If we fail at 21K, 3,000 points takes us back to the lows. So we're right in the middle here of this range very, very clear compression here. That could lead to the next expansive move of about 3,000 points. So keep an eye on that. If we take a look here at Ether futures, this one's up 1.5%. We mentioned the pullback here could be significant into 1400, 1425 could give us a double to 2850. That May FOMC key level up above over time, but we didn't get a pullback that deep. You know, we got a pullback into 1528, and we've quietly pushed higher. Again, we still haven't seen a significant rejection on this lower end. We could come back. This is still the major pivot zone here. That's a major line in the sand, 1350 to about 1450, 1500. That zone right there is going to be very important moving forward. Right now, we got a narrow range with an upward bias, 64% of ADR, about 350 points of energy in this one. But we'll continue to keep an eye on this one and see if it can continue to hold above that 1400. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.